Berry's been fantastic at the top. Josh Saunders, the first-team backup keeper, getting a chance to play tonight.
Of course, you got to keep your players happy. You got to give him some time, get his confidence up and everything. He's obviously a very proven and good goalkeeper. Orlando just wants to keep the ball. They want to enjoy the ball, want to score good goals by creating good combined opportunities.
It'll be Saunders' first appearance in purple since coming over from NYCFC. When we come back, it's OCB and Rochester. Big matchup coming up next.
This is where it all began. The passion, the reputation, both on the field and in the stands. They ruled an era in this league, and now they are back for more.
Coming up next.
Ever wish your allergies would go away fast? You can stop wishing. Because at Family Allergy and Asthma, we can end your symptoms in as little as 2 days with Rush Allergy Shots. It's the fastest route to relief, and our doctors offer it. Call now.
In the end, loans aren't about money. Loans are about seizing opportunity for today and for the future. At MainSource, we specialize in lending because we believe you're destined for great things. For a limited time, open a new MainSource home equity line of credit and you'll get more than a great rate. You could win $10,000 to spend on your very own backyard makeover. Just imagine the possibilities. MainSource. Life needs a great bank.
At UPS, I'm the senior web developer for the Aircraft Maintenance and Engineering Department. When I was in high school, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. So my senior year, I took advanced programming. It was a lot of fun. It was just like a giant puzzle, and you got to put all the different pieces together and make it your own. The one thing that's really great about Sullivan is it gives you the opportunity to get an associate degree before you get your bachelor's degree. I've already been in my position 2 years and just recently graduated with a bachelor's.
When you live in one of the worst areas in the nation for allergies, you need access to the best allergy care. Family Allergy and Asthma has led the way for more than 35 years, helping patients throughout the region find relief. Call today and end your suffering for good.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing, and we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking?
Love in the window.
Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Fans have arrived and the drums are beating again at Slugger Field. Mike Watts with Morgan Conklin, Charlotte and Louisville set to kick off in a moment. Let's look at the Eastern Conference standings. Morgan, we're finally getting to the point in the season where this is becoming the story.
Well, and for Charlotte, they didn't play many games early on in the season. Now they're getting to a place they've found some rhythm, found some momentum, obviously starting to catch up in terms of games. So one win tonight could really bump them up in the standings.
Could catapult to fifth. Louisville could jump over New York and back into third. This Eastern Conference rivalry is set to make its return tonight at Slugger Field. Casey Townsend, who last year played with FC Cincinnati, is on the ball now, ready to kick this one off on what is maybe the best game of the midweek. Townsend in the white Charlotte jerseys, right to left, and it's the all-purple getup for Louisville City. Both teams coming off draws on the weekend, 2-2. Against Tampa Bay for Charlotte. Really good result against a strong Rowdies side. Louisville City 4-4 against the leader in the Eastern Conference. Zenda Mendoza is your central referee, is sliding down. Del Piccolo able to get ahead to that. I'm not sure that was entirely intentional, but I don't think he's disappointed by it.
It kind of looked intentional. The way the ball was a low-driven ball, he could have slipped, but he made it look like he meant to do that because it was a nice clearance.
Sean Toach carrying it ahead. The header bounding towards Niall McCabe, who goes to work on Callum Ross. Speedy Williams pedaling now. And here's Kyle Smith. Team playing without Mark Anthony Kay on the wing. He has been called up to the Canadian national team on the provisional Gold Cup roster for Team Canada. Here's Ownby. Stepping back, and right now Louisville is dominating the opening 90 seconds possession-wise and pushing Charlotte further back. 5 of their front 6 not getting the call in this game on a 3-day turnaround from the Sunday match with Tampa Bay. Bouncing off of a Louisville player, and all that possession gives the ball back to Charlotte.
Well, in looking at the tactical coming into this game, we thought Brian Ownby would be playing more of an attacking midfield role with Niall McCabe out wide left, but Ownby is such a strong wide player. He's already back on that left side, so he'll be going 1v1 as well, and he'll be up against Dennis Castillo, who we mentioned in the open is obviously a very strong defender. That's going to be a good matchup to watch throughout this game.
Yeah, we talked about the 2 goals he had, but it almost feels like that's an afterthought to what he brings to the field as a defender on loan from Colorado Rapids. There's Cody Mizell over the ball. 67 degrees. North-northeast wind of 9 miles per hour. Last night in the ESPN3 game of the week, it was 91 at kickoff by comparison, as Ekra has his pass cut off. Bounding back now for Hilton. Ball lined across. Ranjitsingh got a piece of it. And Louisville City trying to clear that danger up the near touchline, and they do, at least for a moment. For Ranjitsingh, how about 2 difficult opponents coming back from the injuries suffered week 1, a hip flexor injury, make it really 3. U.S. Open Cup at FC Cincinnati. And then Charleston, the top scoring team in the Eastern Conference, and a Charlotte team that has a similar number of goals scored, already under pressure.
Yeah, test the past couple of games, and obviously an early test right now. Charlotte putting the pressure on. They've had a couple chances getting for it. It's a nice ball in, forces Ranjitsingh to get up for that ball. Donnie Smith comes in late on that far post, isn't able to get there in time.
Tosh lobbing the ball ahead. Put down by Del Piccolo. Ball played across. Lancaster couldn't find Ownby. It's going to be interesting to see if the offense picks up quickly in this game. Neither team has scored more than 1 goal in each of the previous 4 meetings between these 2 teams. Here's Luke Wechter out of UNC Charlotte, a trialist who has proven to be the most immovable object among field players in this 11 for Mike Jeffries. Back to Sean Toach, who's proven to be defensive stalwart on the other side for Louisville City. Del Piccolo, away from Ballard, kept in play by McCabe. Sliding in, trying to keep the ball, and it'll come back. Lewis Hilton went in, and it looks like he was the one guilty of the foul.
Early on in this game, that's not a place you want to give up a foul, especially if you're going against Louisville players who are really good on the ball. McCabe doesn't have the cleanest first touch. As he goes backwards, he seems to be tugged a little bit. I think that's a bit of a soft foul.
Am I wrong in saying that because it led to a slide from him that knocked down a Charlotte player, they went back to the first foul that led to the second? Otherwise, it may not get called.
Probably. I think that kind of caused something else to really make it look more so like a foul than it was. This is a tough place, as I said, to give up a free kick so early in this game. Charlotte looks like they have a nice wall in front of the ball, but Louisville has dangerous players.
Can Mizell stop those dangerous threats? Paulo Del Piccolo standing on the right-hand side. But it is Cameron Lancaster just wide. Did that take a deflection? Mizell waving his finger up saying no. And he is correct. How about Lancaster trying from distance?
Really nice strike on that ball. Mizell was there, though. Didn't get a touch on it, but he was there to cover that corner because Lancaster was going for that right side post. Mizell doing a fantastic job, though. If he needed to get a touch there, if he had to be there, he was in the best position.
Wechter crossing up Mizell a bit. It has Lancaster on the sprint. And now in his first start at central defense, a little bit of trouble in the back for Fairclough, although he was able to break through it. Charlotte pushing ahead. Throw ball. Opportunity that Ranjitsingh extinguishes up front.
Nice little slip ball. Spees finding the space to get him behind. It was really tight in that central area, but he was still able to slip through.
Meanwhile, Ballard across the face of goal. Back now for Smith. Carrying ahead, water flying up off the ball. And Smith looking to throw. A lob down to Del Piccolo. He just swung it wide. That was a very difficult angle.
Del Piccolo able to turn inside the 18. Callum Ross not tight enough, not able to get that back tackle. Del Piccolo gets a good shot on frame, just misses it, slices it a little bit, but the defense has to be tighter there from Ross. There's no way he should be able to turn there.
Charlotte trying to go over the top. They wanted to be more direct. A team 3 matches unbeaten in league play with just their loss to North Carolina in US Open Cup, slowing their roll of late. So many changes. Martinez is not in the lineup tonight. And a couple of key guys, Jorge Herrera and Davidson, celebrating his 34th birthday, not in the lineup as well.
These games are just so fun, though, especially as a fan to watch, because I like to ask both coaches when we talk to them, what is this team doing, in your opinion, when they're doing their best? Both coaches said possessing with the purpose going forward.
McCabe, this is purposeful possession, although Ownby cuts off Lancaster. 2 players, including Wechter, were involved in the collision, and now a yellow card is coming at the edge of the area. And a corner kick is coming. Already the tough decisions by Rosendo Mendoza. And on the other side, Oscar Jimenez lining up. He did score against Charleston, started the first of 3 2-goal comebacks in a 4-4 draw. Flinging up his right arm. Shawnee Fairclough on that near post. His first game with a new club. Will be called to service. Jimenez. That ball deflects out. Ownby allows it to bounce out again for Jimenez. Now McCabe. McCabe with his right foot. That's an excellent cross. Not a great clearance initially. Bounds out towards Ballard. And there's a collision in the box as Del Piccolo, who was just sent off last game, picks up a yellow card.
This is a nice ball come in. Wechter gets up for the initial ball. Originally, it didn't look like that should be a card from Del Piccolo. He goes up with his cleats up in the air against Donnie Smith, who's trying to clear it. So on the second replay, I definitely see why that's a yellow. You can't go up with your cleats in the air like that. Del Piccolo has to be careful. He's had his last 2 games. Obviously, he missed the last game. He's had some issues with tackles, going in with his cleats up. So he's a player that has to be careful because he's such a huge part of this Louisville team.
Callum Ross, the earlier yellow card. Now Paulo Del Piccolo picks up a caution. That ball finds its way through to Townsend. Turns the corner. To the defensive task was Tosh. And that winds too far out of play. Lewis Hilton, the player who sent it out. Piccolo playing a rather forward role at the present moment. Spees. Wechter. Lancaster brings it down. Plays through Del Piccolo. Cuts it back. Lancaster! And it's parried over the bar by Mizell. 12th minute. Louisville City was off on the break. Del Piccolo, as usual, with a good pass down the middle, and Mizell up to the task.
He's a connector, but not usually this high up the field. The initial ball by Lancaster, but that little touch back by Del Piccolo. The defense wasn't expecting that. They thought Del Piccolo was going to take a shot. Mizell does a great job shuffling his feet and getting back to the center.
Put in play by Jimenez. A two-palmed punch. And now Townsend goes inside and lays it off for Donnie Smith. And that pass could put Charlotte in a difficult place. McCabe, Del Piccolo, who's had a masterful start to the game. Ownby had a tremendous goal last time out. Tags it out to Smith. Ownby trying to get back to it, and now Charlotte is on the run. Stepping in was Ballard. Spees chasing after Tosh. Smith away from Ballard. Back to Mizell.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
One coach, Mike Jeffries, was on the show just 2 short weeks ago. 14th minute, 0-0, but a couple of really great opportunities early. That ball deflects over Mike Jeffries.
Mike, I talked about it a little bit earlier. Both these teams like to play high tempo, possession with the purpose. They want to push. Charlotte likes to press high. The fact that this field is a little more narrow makes the speed even faster. And I think as this first half goes on, we're going to continue to see a little back and forth. Both teams trying to go quickly in transition. And a lot of opportunities happening quickly.
Ask Mike Jeffries how his team would translate to this field. Here's Del Piccolo. That ball still whittling across the 18-yard box. Nothing doing there as Ekra takes over. He said simply, lousy. It doesn't fit us very well at all, and right now Louisville taking advantage of this small field with a 3-0 advantage. But they want to play a little more direct today on what he called a super small field, one that he said gives Louisville one of the best home field advantages in the Eastern Conference. Speedy Williams was really impressed you, Morgan. I think you really appreciate the little things he does.
Yeah, he's not a player that's going to show up in all the stat categories, maybe except passing accuracy percentage. He's a player that really connects. I talked about Del Piccolo in the open, how he's a connector. Speedy Williams is extremely similar, if not even more so, because he's not always making those runs forward. He's the one you've seen him connect 4 or 5 passes in a row, but still helping his team build forward.
Jimenez on the ground. All that passing by Williams leads to that shot, doesn't it?
Well, and it's something that, like I said, if that shot by Jimenez goes in, it's all started because of the passing, the vision from Williams, the way he moves his body to open up, to find the other side if needed, maybe to find more central, but then to move to get it back.
It was interesting there. He was almost a one-man passing crew moving horizontally along the face of goal as McCabe has his pass intercepted but falls down to Lancaster. Ball kicked away from the Englishman initially, and now the whistle blows that has players on the Charlotte bench hands on head. Some days that whistle isn't very necessary. Other days like today, it seems like it's been a key instrument for Rosendo Mendoza. Jimenez scored on a deflection in first half stoppage time, down 2-0 to Charleston. Team came back from 2-0 down, 3-1, 4-2 to ultimately get a 4-4 draw on the road against the number 1 team in the East. Jimenez, there's Mizell.
I think that's something you're going to say throughout this game. There's Mizell, just so confident back there. He owns his box extremely well, comes off of his line when needed, but just so solid back there.
And Mike Jeffries told us before the New York game where they pounded the Red Bulls too, 5-1. So athletic off his line. It's a real strength for him. That ball went all the way over goal line extended. 18th minute at Slugger Field with Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts. 0-0 between the 3rd-ranked team with a win tonight and the 5th-ranked team in the East with a win tonight. Right now, Charlotte sitting in 12th, Louisville in 4th, but a very packed Eastern Conference makes this a massive midweek affair. Williams bouncing a ball to Jimenez. Past Johnson. Johnson took over momentarily, and despite a little bit of a slip-up, no advantage played, they'll bring it back.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
Sliding in with those Nike cleats was Paulo Del Piccolo. A couple guys on this team have the bright orange look on the cleats this evening. Back to Mizell, who's wearing perfectly white shoes. Easy for a goalkeeper to wear those. Easier.
What would be your color of choice?
Hot pink. Were you one to have different color cleats when you played at Virginia Tech?
No.
You didn't get like the team-colored everything?
I didn't. I was a classic Tiempo.
A what?
Black and white. It was a
Oh,
stylish
sure.
cleat.
Okay. Well.
I never wore white cleats. Usually black, but they were black with a little bit of white.
Okay. Did they look anything like the ones that Dennis Castillo's wearing right now, just minus the red tongue?
No.
No, okay. Well, there you go. Stolen away by Louisville, and up the wing, it's the speed of Brian Ownby. Ownby crashing in. Was there a whistle to be had there? Another yellow card is coming. And a free kick to Louisville City on the way as well. Fairclough was caught in transition, and he had a few steps on Ownby, who covered all that ground to make it difficult. In his debut, he has a yellow card.
If Fairclough didn't take Ownby down in that moment, Ownby was going to be able to get around him. He is so quick, 1v1, so strong. Fairclough was able to cover the distance. But Ownby, with his speed to be able, he would have been able to cut the corner there and really given Louisville a dangerous opportunity in that corner.
This is essentially a short corner, the way the ball is so tight to the end line. I mean, that's literally a corner.
Well, you can see Charlotte setting up defensively like one.
Jimenez. Tosh got up there. Running up. It's shot by Ballard. That's still flying. And into the Papa John's upstairs.
Ballard able to cover ground to get there. Gets way under the ball. That's one of those, Mike, we've talked about in a couple games we've worked together. Every now and then, a player crushes one, and I always say that is so much harder than it looks. It's because that's why. You're running up, getting forward, trying not to get under the ball. You see yourself in a great position. Ballard, unfortunately, just wasn't able to get on top of it.
Ballard making his first start since that tremendous beginning. The rookie out of Indiana who picked up a hamstring injury and came in and out off the bench for a while. His first league start since the opening 3 games. Louisville owning the ball early, although Ballard wasn't able to run in. And yet Charlotte has had some chances in transition to try and make Louisville pay for that possession.
Well, early on, this game was definitely back and forth. High pace, both teams getting chances, but Louisville's been able to settle in, use their players that dominate the middle of the field.
Smith, a great pass in the second look in for Ballard. That is a really poor clearance and an opportunity should they get the ball back down. It's Del Piccolo with a low shot and lifted up over the shoulder by David Spees. And now Townsend trying to hold up play is brought down by Jimenez. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com or follow them on Twitter @USL. Johnson turns the corner. That took a deflection and a couple of early corners for Louisville. Charlotte gets their first of the game. Sometimes it's tough to know who Donnie Smith will aim for here when there's so many key scorers out of the lineup.
Well, Luke Wechter, Ashani Fairclaw made their way into the box, so they could be targets on this one.
And they were going, it appeared, for Wechter. Ekra still moving. Got a shot off towards McCabe. Ultimately deflected out. The question is whether or not McCabe had his arm extended. Wechter battling all the way to the corner with Ownby, and a throw to Louisville. You're an outside back. Surely you've thrown your arms out in disbelief that no one's coming for the ball.
Is that what the disbelief is about?
I think. Is there more going on beyond our purview? Maybe it was just the weight.
That was definitely a look of disbelief that nobody's coming to help. I've definitely made that face. So, and it's hard too, especially when you're in your defensive third. You need somebody to come to you with the ball, whether they play it back to you so you can then play out. But having a throw-in in your defensive third is difficult, and it's tricky to build out of there.
Ownby does well to keep Johnson at bay. Williams, McCabe. Now Jimenez. Lofts across. That snap header just goes wide from Cameron Lancaster, who early in this game has shown out the entire set of tools.
I like Lancaster because he drops off the back line and will build in possession, but then he shows that he can be a target forward as well. Trying it up for the header over Luke Wechter. If he can bring that down, Wechter's not a player that's going to be easy to allow him to turn in the box, but if Lancaster can maybe hold that and then build backwards to a player coming forward, it might be a better option because that flick header from that angle, the way it's coming is pretty difficult.
It's difficult for the goalkeeper. I can't imagine how hard that is for Lancaster to perform that. As Tosh away from Ekra. It almost looks like it's skimming off the head when you're allowing that to go through that way.
Well, it is. That's why it's difficult because you don't get much contact on the ball. Obviously, the ball has a lot of speed coming the way that it is, so that's why holding it, getting your chest on it, bringing it down, and actually having contact with the ball is easier to keep it and possess and then build up.
Ownby. Wechter and Mizell crossing paths there. Need ahead by Wechter. Brought down by Spees. Del Piccolo. Ownby. Puts the brakes on Johnson. Johnson got his foot out to deflect the cross.
In order to make things difficult for Brian Ownby, Johnson needs to continue to drop and defend. He's played outside back. He's a player that is a good defender. He needs to continue to drop and just make it more difficult for Ownby because as a player, who's very good 1v1, he wants to only see one defender in front of him. So if Johnson can continue to maybe back tackle or just stay with the play, it'll make it much more difficult for Ownby.
Cameron Lancaster wanted the 7th Louisville shot there, but they wouldn't allow it. They said he was offside. He gave the good old Matumbo finger wag to the official on the near side. Johnson played it through. Hilton. That found its way in front of the net. It was deflected by Ekra. And Louisville's defense stands up. Fairclaw. Ownby may have gotten a bit of a forearm, the shoulder, maybe even higher there. Fairclaw's clearance somehow lands right on the touchline, and then the foul afterward.
There's just no need for hands there, especially when you already have a yellow for Fairclaw. As much time is left in the game, he just has to be careful about silly things like that because there's no need to be handsy. Just stand your ground.
The turn comes without a whistle. Play on. Gestures the referee. Del Piccolo. As a runner up the wing, it's Kyle Smith. Del Piccolo playing a role we saw Williams playing a moment ago, but it breaks down. Spin from Jan Ekra. Whipped wide by Hilton. Townsend. There's Joel Johnson back after yellow card accumulation suspension. It's early. It took 7 games for him to pick up 5 yellow cards. Flag is up. Interesting place for that to happen. It looked like he had run his way back onside. It was a little late in doing so. Louisville, a bunch of changes from their last game. Reynolds had started at center back, his first start of the year, alongside Sean Toach, who was on the ball there. A bend, Illich, Davis, Kay. All out. This is Ballard. Still 10 yards away from goal. Blasted out.
Ownby doing nice work in the middle of the field to find Ballard there. That ball that comes across the 6 is so dangerous. You have players running onto it. He wasn't able to pick one out in that moment, but if they can continue to isolate Ballard wide as well, if he can bring that ball across the 6 with the runners that Louisville usually has in the box, those are great opportunities.
Jimenez, that was headed wide, and Ekra plays it further. Del Piccolo. Hilton. Johnson. Pass up the wing that was intercepted by Morad. Running ahead. Was clipped off the back heel by Ballard. Paulo Del Piccolo is playing like he didn't play last time out. Like he wants to earn that shirt again. The captain, who was out due to red card suspension, usually a little further back on the field, but he has been everywhere tonight. He's been outstanding.
Well, it's been great, too, especially with Ownby really moving throughout that midfield area, being wide.
Ballard has it taken away from him. The turn and up and over from Townsend. He's throwing his arms out, wondering how that could have gotten so far over without a deflection.
Mike talking about Del Piccolo again. He's finding more space centrally because Ownby, McCabe, they're both floating a little bit in between that left side, the attacking midfield role, so there's more space for Del Piccolo to go forward, especially when he has Speedy Williams, who does a good job of balancing him out. So when he goes forward, there's still a player there.
Got it down. And Ekra well over. He had taken the pass from Spees. Well, Greg Ranjetsing is back in the starting lineup, part of the Trinidad and Tobago national team pool. He was called up last year after taking the starting position that Scott Goodwin had vacated. Tim Dobrovolsky performed admirably. A couple Save of the Week awards in the USL in his absence, but returning from a hip flexor, at least for the moment, the starting role. Ballard. Here's Ownby. The cross in, looking for Lancaster. Diving header away from Fairclaw. Tosh. Zone beyond side, question one, but ultimately irrelevant as the ball went too far out of his reach. Cody Mizell on the ball. He's had a nice evening so far. He's needed to.
He's been busy early, came off his line, just good awareness, able to own his box. His reactions are extremely quick. He's able to stay with the play, especially in this Louisville team. They like to slip balls in, bring the ball back across the face of goal. He's done a good job responding to that.
All the way down to the other goalkeeper. There's no highlight package for him yet. He has not been as vital so far in keeping this at 0-0. Hasn't had to be. And Jetson got that away in time. Hilton. Townsend looking for Johnson.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
What a great game of the week we had yesterday. Oklahoma City coming away with a 3-2 win, and the question for Vucic, how long will he be out? A really crushing injury after a brace against Phoenix, and Drogba debuting on Saturday night against Vancouver Whitecaps 2 for Phoenix Rising.
We've definitely been spoiled with midweek matchups between the one last night, tonight, obviously two great teams, and just really good storylines under both teams playing in each game.
Right now, the storyline for Louisville finally home. For Charlotte, they can move to 5th tonight before they go to Matthews in just 9 short days. A new home for the Independents. Jimenez. That bounced off of Callum Ross. Lancaster trying to get it back. Still loose in the box. Lancaster between 3 players. He's flipped down. And no whistle against Wechter. Smith is still on the ball. Del Piccolo tagging it all the way through. He was looking for Ballard. He dummied it.
Louisville just pushing numbers forward. I am amazed every time they get towards goal. The number of players they attack with, but also how they continue to create and try to create in front of goal. They get all those players involved. They have many options and they use them, the way they move the ball around.
That got up for a handball. Ekra trying to reach back in, take it away from Williams, but couldn't. That through to the defensive Wechter. And now Johnson. A little bit of space opening up now for Charlotte. Townsend on loan season long from FC Cincinnati. Was loaned just before the season began, shortly after John Harkes was moved out of the head coaching role. Ball lined across and over the top of Smith and out for a goal kick.
Lancaster, just fantastic individual work trying to keep the ball. I don't think that's a call there. I think Smith may have gotten his leg a little bit, but I definitely think Lancaster squeezed his way in between those two players to try and earn himself a foul. But just the individual work, the work rate by him just to try to make something happen.
Smith, Ballard does well to keep the ball off of Callum Ross, and now Louisville, another corner. They just continue to come in waves right now against this Charlotte defense.
Well, and Louisville's not a team that you can continue to give these chances with just the balls that are played in by Jimenez. He's able to whip them in, the targets that they have. Louisville continues to build forward, and they're earning corners. They're earning something from all their work.
What have you liked on the 4 corners we've seen so far?
Well, for Charlotte, first off, Cody Mizell. He's been fantastic coming off his line. But for Louisville, just the numbers they have in the box, I'm impressed with how many people they attack with and just how they're able to be big in the box. But on the other side of that, Mizell's been fantastic so far.
Jimenez. There's the header. It took a deflection on the way. Otherwise, that would have found its way on goal. Jimenez looking to reload as Tosh was the target again. Jimenez will wait long enough for Tosh to find his way back to central defense, and Ownby finding his way to the corner. Someone's got to cover Ownby. Ownby the cross, lifted by Del Piccolo. Bouncing out in front, it's Del Piccolo! And Mizell was able to get there. Somehow all the traffic in Louisville not able to cash in.
I like this little ball and the turn by Lancaster. Del Piccolo staying with the ball. Mizell, the little touch wide. That ball is finding its way to the back of the net. Once again, comes up huge, able to push it wide.
Was it Fairclough who got a piece to push it? McCabe. It was a spinning ball. Snap down for Ownby. Weird again. Finally, Charlotte decompressing a little bit here in the 39th minute.
Well, and they need to get organized defensively here. They need to see where these Louisville players are, especially in the midfield. Del Piccolo's getting forward. As I've said a couple times, Williams is able to support a lot. But McCabe, especially Ownby and Ballard, are finding the ball in dangerous situations, and they're able to create going forward. So Charlotte needs to be more organized defensively, especially when it comes to Ownby getting wide and Ballard getting wide.
Tosh, wow from Ballard. Del Piccolo, Ballard running in, sliding at the last moment. Fairclough, who is showing well in his debut for the Independents.
And this is definitely what Mike Jeffries was saying, that this is a tough test for him, just the sheer talent in the attackers he's going against. Fairclough does a great job, though, coming across a clean tackle, able to push it out for another corner for Louisville. Charlotte has to come up big here.
Jimenez got over the top of everybody, and the second ball is lobbed out to midfield by Ekra. Williams there to control it. And now driving the edge of the area, it's Ballard. Back in by Williams. Couldn't put that in the mixer.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
Fans all along the railing. You can tell how long this franchise has waited to come home. They played more games in the month of May at Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. They did here at Slugger Field. Finally home again during a stretch where they'll play 5 games in 2.5 weeks, home and away. In their next game at New York Red Bulls 2. May well be a meeting of number 3 and number 4 in the conference, regardless of result tonight, as Louisville could jump ahead of the reigning USL Cup champions with a 3-point performance. They could draw level with 1. Charlotte on the restart. Ranjitsingh bobbled it, and dribbled it like a basketball back into his hands. Williams. There goes Ballard. Such a dynamic player, brought down from the side. Ekra is going into the book, and very slowly we're seeing most players on the field find their way into the referee's ire.
Ekra trying to keep up with Ballard, clips his leg on the back end of that. But what set up that whole play? Ranjit Singh doing a great job coming off his line, but the quick ball, the quick delivery out to allow Louisville to go forward with numbers and try to catch Charlotte in transition.
Fairclaw, Ross, and Ekra all now have yellow cards. Paulo Del Piccolo got one in the 11th. And there in the center of your screen, the man he's currently having a heated discussion with, Rosendo Mendoza. I think Tosh might be a good option here for in purple.
If he can peel out, stay wide, bring that far post run, he's a great option. Or at least there in case anything slides through.
Doesn't have a goal yet this year, but he's been the target. Morad, the other center back, playing a forward role now as well. Del Piccolo, a couple of assists this season. Del Piccolo going towards the near post for him. Lancaster is moving that direction. And ultimately, Casey Townsend clearing that danger. Quick throw in here by Louisville. And Speedy Williams able to keep possession, if only for a moment. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world. Some of the game's top talents and its rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com. Follow them on Twitter at USL. All the highlights from yesterday's game of the week and all the highlights in real time on Twitter. Donnie Smith. Johnson has moved to the left-hand side now. Ross. Fairclaw. Townsend punched over that service out of his reach. Minute to go here in this first half. Louisville has the possession edge to be sure, but this feels chance-wise like a fairly even game thus far.
I think Louisville has been in more dangerous situations, but in terms of shots, good opportunities, it's definitely been more even. Not as much has come from it than you would think with how many times they've been in a goal-scoring chance around a goal-scoring opportunity. I think Charlotte is starting to play. I think it took them a little while to get used to this narrow field. They're starting to play a little bit more, but it's hard to control the midfield against Louisville, just with the players they have, how they choose to organize the midfield and then be dynamic going forward. It's difficult to win that battle.
Their movement right now has really been impressive. Just 1 minute of added time in this opening half, despite some arguing between the officials and the players at times. No goals, no injuries. Ownby and Del Piccolo. Ownby poking it away. Now Johnson. Smith stepped in. Does Louisville have another first half stoppage time goal in them? Brought down by Ballard. They say it got up and touched his shoulder and maybe this bicep as well. Mizell. Halftime. Overriding thoughts on the first half?
Louisville's definitely dominating this game through the midfield going forward. Their players, Lancaster, Ownby, Ballard, have been really strong. If McCabe can get in here a little bit more, bring another player into the attack, I think it'll put them in a good spot. Charlotte needs to continue to defend strong, and when they get forward, get numbers forward.
Cody Mizell has had to be good today. Lancaster robbed. Ekra driving a ball through. Ranjitsingh strong as well. Highlights, stats when we come back.
Ever wish your allergies would go away fast? You can stop wishing. Because at Family Allergy and Asthma, we can end your symptoms in as little as 2 days with Rush allergy shots. It's the fastest route to relief, and our doctors offer it. Call now.
In the end, loans aren't about money. Loans are about seizing opportunity for today and for the future. At MainSource, we specialize in lending because we believe you're destined for great things.
For a limited time, open a new MainSource home equity line of credit, and you'll get more than a great rate. You could win $10,000 to spend on your very own backyard makeover. Just imagine the possibilities. MainSource. Life needs a great bank.
It was nice because I could just leave work and literally 2 minutes I was in the classroom on Fort Knox, which worked out very well for me.
I enjoyed every class. I enjoyed all my classmates. It was probably the best thing I've ever done for me.
Great experience. Would do it all over again.
I actually start a new job on Monday, so I'm excited to do that and see where my degree can take me.
And I plan on pursuing my master's in January.
When you live in one of the worst areas in the nation for allergies, you need access to the best allergy care. Family Allergy and Asthma has led the way for more than 35 years, helping patients throughout the region find relief. Call today and end your suffering for good.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
0-0 between Louisville City and Charlotte Independence. Temperatures in the mid-60s in the Louisville area. And finally home again. Speaking of great clips, let's look at great clips from this first 45 minutes, our opening half highlights. And Charlotte got their best opportunities early. Joel Johnson, Greg Ranjitsingh getting up here.
Yeah, one of his first real times he had to get involved in this game. Ranjitsingh just holding his box, doing a great job of getting up for it.
Cameron Lancaster.
A nice look on frame. We thought Mizell got a touch on it. He said no, came out for a goal kick. But that's a nice shot from far out by Lancaster. Beautiful placement. You see where he's going with it. Just misses the mark, though.
Mizell strong in this opening half as he was called into play several times. Del Piccolo finding his way through and winding that wide.
Just so simple. Such a simple turn for him. That can't happen. Del Piccolo, though, doing a great job of even trying to get that ball on frame. It's a difficult angle. He just misses wide as well, but he's been really good getting forward for this team.
Cameron Lancaster playing it through, and here's Del Piccolo again getting it back. What a save by Mizell.
I love this little slip ball back. Bringing it back across goal. Lancaster staying with the play. But like you said, Mizell coming up big again. A nice little punch over the bar.
We see Jimenez lobbing it from distance, just over the top by Lancaster. He was very good.
He was doing a good job of being a target for it. If he can bring that one down, it'll be a little bit more simple. But he's been doing a great job. Just his individual effort, 1v1, trying to get forward, trying to create for this team. He's done a great job as that high forward.
He and Wechter tied up there. There was no whistle. Popped up by Del Piccolo. The turn, Del Piccolo. Who got a piece of that? Could have been Fairclaw or Mizell.
Well, Del Piccolo just staying with the play once again, moving his body, goes in hard for the tackle as Ross comes out for it. The deflection almost goes their way. And
everybody walking off the field. A bit disappointed that it's 0-0, but the Coopers and all the fans that have come out here in Louisville have gotten a good effort. 0-0 at the half. Back in a moment.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, What are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey. She's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
We've raised stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars, innovative technology, and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Halftime at Slugger Field, Louisville City and Charlotte Independence. Two teams short turnarounds, but it hasn't shown on the field. We have stats after this break. You're watching the USL Network.
Ever wish your allergies would go away fast? You can stop wishing. Because at Family Allergy and Asthma, we can end your symptoms in as little as 2 days with Rush Allergy Shots. It's the fastest route to relief, and our doctors offer it. Call now.
In the end, loans aren't about money. Loans are about seizing opportunity for today and for the future. At MainSource, we specialize in lending because we believe you're destined for great things.
For a limited time, open a new MainSource home equity line of credit, and you'll get more than a great rate. You could win $10,000 to spend on your very own backyard makeover. Just imagine the possibilities. MainSource. Life needs a great bank.
What drives employee engagement and why does it matter? U.S. businesses lose $11 billion annually as a result of employee turnover. Only 29% of employees are fully engaged. while 26% are disengaged. Caring managers encourage more engagement in the workplace. Find out how to live, learn, and lead with Sullivan University's master's degree in human resource leadership. We believe in you.
When you live in one of the worst areas in the nation for allergies, you need access to the best allergy care. Family Allergy and Asthma has led the way for more than 35 years, helping patients throughout the region find relief. Call today and end your suffering for good.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing, and we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking? Love in the window. Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Halftime between Louisville City and Charlotte Independence in a bunched-up Eastern Conference. Two teams with the opportunity to move up in the standings with 3 points tonight. I could go for a slice of that pizza that guy's eating, but we'll just have to settle for these stats, and they're scrumptious if you're Louisville City. What stands out to you? The possession, but also the passing, Morgan.
Yeah, so far, obviously Louisville's dominating possession. A lot of that comes from the passes they've connected. They've connected over 200 passes. Going to Charlotte, only connected about 150, so it's no surprise that when they win the midfield, they're dominating possession. But for Louisville, 9 shots, only 2 on target. That needs to be a little bit better. I've said a couple times, they have the build-up. They've created the dangerous opportunities, but then it's just kind of fallen apart as it gets closer to goal. If they can tighten that up, clean that up a little bit, they'll be in a much better position.
Yeah, and I should have noted with the pizza that it's our coordinating producer, Brian Duvall, who gives us the best pizza of all. Of course, most important stat here, 0-0, the goal score line between Charlotte and Louisville City through 45 minutes. Morgan, as we look around the conference right now, I think both these teams have difficult opportunities in front of them. If you look at Charlotte, 12 points, 3 points up to 15. They could go as high as 5th in the conference, right behind Louisville City. If Louisville wins, then they are just 3 points behind Tampa Bay with games in hand. You could see both teams making a really quick ascent here.
Yeah, and for Charlotte, this would be a big win, especially before they go back home in the next couple of games to their new field in Matthews. They're a team who's still trying to get back up in terms of total games. So for them to win tonight, pick up 3 points on the road against a very good Louisville team, it would really push them forward in the standings and help them out just as a team.
What a glorious standings graphic that Andrew Firestein has put together for us is Charleston atop those standings. And these fans looking forward to what two of the best teams in the East have to offer. Meanwhile, in the West, the 2 top teams in the league by points by far, Real Monarchs, San Antonio. Finally, Salt Lake City is atop the standings, and yet we'll see Phoenix with all the news around them right now, sitting at 12 points, the chance to leap up with Didier Drogba and OKC. We saw yesterday picking up 3 points, beginning to find their form, Morgan.
Yeah, and if Phoenix can grab 3 points this weekend with Drogba, maybe having a huge impact, potentially, maybe helping his team out a little bit, they could move forward a lot in the standings as well.
Again, up to 15 points, and you're talking about 5th in the West. When we look at these two teams' upcoming schedules and how all those games in hand will play out, I talked to Mike Jeffries a couple of weeks ago, and he said, wow, you make it sound so easy. We have games in hand. Well, they're at Louisville City, then at FC Cincinnati before hosting Harrisburg, the aforementioned new stadium in Matthews.
Yeah, definitely 2 difficult road tests before they get to go back home. FC Cincinnati will be tough. They'll play in front of a big crowd, but if they can pick up 3 today and then go forward on the road, as we've said, it'll really help them out standings-wise.
Meanwhile, for Louisville City, they're finally home, but that doesn't mean they're here for long. They're at New York Red Bulls 2 and Montclair State University June 11th, against Pittsburgh on the 17th. Here at Slugger Field, and then it's on the road to Harrisburg City. It's a back-and-forth home and road deal.
And if they can get 3 points tonight, it'll make that game at New York even more interesting than it would already be, because obviously there'll be a little battle for standings with that one. So if they can pick up 3 tonight, that'll make that game even more interesting.
Cody Mizell, pretty good, right?
Not bad. Had a couple saves. He's been outstanding so far. If he can continue to have that half that he did, especially when Louisville has built up, they've been dangerous. They have players around the box, in the box, that have created a lot of chances. He has Cameron Lancaster in front of him, trying to dribble, going 1v1 in the box, and he's come up big time after time.
Players that are actually allowed on the grass, we might mention, as Charlotte in their white and blue jerseys have returned to the field with high expectations this evening. They've only played 8 games, and speaking with Mike Jeffries, he feels like they've constantly been 2 or 3 games behind. There's the third-year man at the helm of this Charlotte Independence franchise, a Herman Trophy winner at Duke. His soccer acumen on the field unquestioned. I spoke to him this week about his time in Chicago as a front office man just 6 short years ago. He said, looking around USL, none of us saw this coming. He certainly didn't. How quickly play would improve, how good a market Charlotte would become going back to North Carolina, where he had so much success as a player in college. He was gushing about how positive things are around the league right now.
And I talked with him a couple weeks ago, and it was just really cool hearing from him. You could just tell his excitement about being in Charlotte. He's a North Carolina guy. He has so much history there. It was really cool hearing about how big it is for the community. Obviously, they have that new stadium. It was really cool hearing from him. You could just tell in the tone of his voice.
A North Carolina guy, we mean a Durham, North Carolina guy, is that right?
Yes, state.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Meanwhile, as we see Charlotte arriving, but Louisville a little late, maybe a little chicken right now from James O'Connor's side as they trudge back onto the field. What did you like in that first half from Louisville City offensively that made them so dangerous, both through their constant passing and their possession?
Just that, the way they absolutely dominated the midfield. But I also liked it because it wasn't just one player who can be marked out of the game and then it's completely changed. They had Del Piccolo getting forward, Williams really balancing. He found his way up a time or two, connecting more in the attacking third. McCabe was a little quiet. I want to see him a little more in this half, but Omby, Ballard, Lancaster, as I said, Del Piccolo, they were all over the place. So that's a number of players that if you mark one of them out of the game, it's not like it's a total different game. They just have so many different threats.
James O'Connor extended through 2020 for this Louisville City franchise, right up until they expect to have a new stadium built in the Butchertown neighborhood. Of course, the Metro Council will vote on that in August, and if you go to LouisvilleCityFC.com, you can get in touch with your Metro Council representative in an effort to make sure they know just how important it is to you that this team has a stadium befitting their success. United Soccer League's Eastern Conference. How hard is it to mark a team that's so dynamic movement-wise? You spoke about Omby and McCabe, but we saw the attacking midfield role that Paulo Del Piccolo picked up as well.
It's really difficult, but this Charlotte team just needs their midfield to step up a little bit. Lewis Hilton, Callum Ross have done a great job dropping and defending, but if they can be more of a defensive presence higher up the field and make it more difficult for Del Piccolo, Williams to combine, those two players have way too much time on the ball. They're able to go wherever they want with it. So if Hilton, Ross, even if Ekra, he's done a good job dropping in. If Johnson, Spies can come central a little bit more and really condense that space, not allow these Louisville midfielders to have as much time on the ball, it'll make it more difficult for Louisville going forward and easier for Charlotte to defend all of those dynamic players.
Will that prove omniscient? We shall find out. On to the second half. Charlotte and Louisville City. Chance to move up to 5th if you're Charlotte with 3 points. Louisville City could move into a tie or outright 3rd place in the Eastern Conference with a win or a draw tonight. A turn from Ekra, turned it over. Comes to Lancaster. No Luke Spencer, dealing with a hamstring tweak. He is back in training, but not in the lineup or available off the bench tonight. Advantage played, and the slide is on the mark from the forward, Cameron Lancaster. High arcing crossfield ball takes an extra touch, falling to Johnson. Lucky Karam to keep possession, now whips it over the top. It's too far for David Spees, who has not scored yet this year, signed in September of last season but did not appear for the Independents. Jetsing, a 4-year starter at Mercer down in Georgia, a native of Pickering, Ontario, Canada, although he suits up national team for the Trinidad and Tobago side. Off the head of Ross, pushed ahead by Lewis Hilton. Now Williams. Spees trying to attack Kyle Smith. Jetsing, that ball finding its way across midfield. Ownby. Trying to cut around Castillo now. Ownby goes down. A yellow card is apparently coming, and it should be a second. Looking in his debut, a red card for Ashanti Fairclough in the 20th and now the 48th, and he is gone.
Ownby, a player who will make it difficult to defend him. I don't think that's a yellow. I don't see it at all. I think Fairclough has a good body position. I think with Ownby's speed coming forward, Fairclough got a bit of Ownby, but definitely went for the ball.
And look, right or wrong, the official immediately went to his pocket. He saw that immediately as a yellow card.
And it wasn't even an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, so it's not like you can maybe say that was the reason. I think it looked a lot worse than it was because of the speed Ownby was coming with.
Fans, a reminder that today's game plays an important role in the close partnership between Major League Soccer and the USL to test the use of a video assistant referee, or VAR. VAR is implemented during key match-changing situations and serious missed incidents on the field. For more information on VAR and its use in the match, visit uslsoccer.com. This, a red card as it's constituted, not a case where VAR would be useful. But worth noting that this is a game where Guido Gonzalez is elsewhere. Watching this, the fifth official. Who strikes this? Right foot of Jimenez, left foot of Del Piccolo.
I think Jimenez, but with this Louisville team, I wouldn't be surprised if Del Piccolo surprises us and comes out with the left foot.
He's due, right?
Oh. His game today, the way he's getting forward, his work rate, that was a yes, by the way.
That appeared to be a yes. Del Piccolo make us look like geniuses in this moment. Del Piccolo, the cross, finding the opposite post. Not good enough from Niall McCabe. Never directed that on target. He did strike it, just didn't put it where we thought. So now Charlotte, after the red card, which was the second yellow to Fairclough in the 48th, will play down to 10 men for the remaining 40-plus minutes of the match.
I've said it a couple times throughout games this season. We've seen a lot of early yellows. Players who are physical, who like to use their body, a little handsy. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to put yourself out in that situation and give up a yellow, the rest of your play has to be careful. I don't think that was a fair call for Fairclough. I think he's done a great job so far. He's a strong player. I think he just went for the ball, went for the tackle. The way Ownby was coming in, the speed he came with, I think Fairclough came in, got the ball, maybe a little of Ownby, but with the speed it looked a lot worse than it was. But the fact that Fairclough had that earlier yellow, he had to be careful in that moment.
And of course, a center back going down only makes it more difficult. Mizell puts it back in play. Will Louisville take advantage this opportunity now for Charlotte? If you take a point away, no one would call that anything less than a great result. Ball bounces to Ownby.
He wants that one back. Ownby does not miss wide like that often. Usually he gets his hips around it, gets his hips square. In this moment, he just doesn't. His body's running forward, doesn't get his left leg all the way around. He wants to go far post there. Obviously didn't come off at all. He doesn't miss those often like that.
Ownby with a great MLS and USL background. Last year with Richmond. Previously in MLS with Houston. Ownby on the defense as Ekra takes the ball in midfield. You can see Castillo tucking a little further in. Ownby chasing. This will bounce all the way to Ranjetsingh.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with my broadcast partner, Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM-FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM-FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
The USL Game of the Week is with my partner, Morgan Conklin. 53rd minute. Opportunity for Louisville City. Ball comes through. Knocked down is Del Piccolo in the box. He was sliding down as it was, and no whistle come. Rightfully so from the official. Mizell has a goal kick.
I've mentioned a couple times how Joel Johnson needs to drop and help in behind. He's dropped in a little bit more after that red card to try to fill in for the space and the gap left by Fairclaw, but he does a great job dropping him with Del Piccolo there, because that's a moment when he squeezes his way forward, finds it forward, and is inside the box. Almost one-on-one with Mizell.
Ownby. Well done by Castillo. Keep Lancaster away. Too far to keep possession. David Spees. Smith. Ekra on his back. Smith. Ownby. Johnson. Ownby was the one who got the head to it. Johnson, the defense.
Johnson is a name we're going to continue to hear defensively. He's going to have to keep dropping in, especially with Ownby getting forward. Del Piccolo in that last play, trying to find his way up. As I've said, with Fairclaw out, Charlotte still has three in the back. They have Wechter, Smith, Castillo wide. Ross is dropping in a little bit centrally, but Johnson is going to have to continue to drop on that flank, especially with a player like Ownby getting forward.
He was in for Kalungi, who was given the day off. As this ball popped back by Tosh. Henry Kalungi has started 5 games this year. Austin Yearwood is a defender available off the bench should they choose to go that direction. Right now, Charlotte seems content to focus with the team they have on the field. Ross dropping into that other center back position for the moment. Williams there to head by Spees. Williams on it again. Ballard trying to expose the flank. Touched back in by Ross. And Ballard trying to turn the corner on him. He did. Williams with a left-footed strike. It's popped in the air. Ownby trying to bring it down. He and Mizell colliding with each other. Mizell throwing his arm out. Finally, the whistle came. When the ball's bouncing like that, it can be difficult to see which way the referee should call it.
Well, Charlotte's going to have their hands full if Louisville continues to get Richard Ballard forward. Speedy Williams finds his way in there to get a shot off. Richard Ballard is a really good 1v1. He's not always getting forward like Ombi is, but when he picks his moments, he goes forward, he's dangerous, he's crafty, creative, and he plays those slip balls back across the face of goal, back across the 6 that are so dangerous with players running forward.
Charlotte picking up a red card in the 48th minute. Louisville coming as close as they have thus far to trying to make them pay. Louisville side that has struggled offensively, just 9 goals scored. Lest we forget that 4 of them came on Saturday against Charleston on the road. Ball played through. Here's McCabe looking for Lancaster. Opportunity. It's in the net. It's the hometown kid who has scored, Richard Ballard. 1-0 to Louisville City. For Ballard, it's his first.
Ballard just getting forward, plays the ball to Lancaster, coming back up, continuing his run. So much pace on that ball. Meisel's not able to get a hand on it, goes right past him. What a way for his first goal.
Ballard's goal brought to you by the Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination and funding education. The Kentucky Lottery. Ballard's first as a pro out of Indiana in his first start since game number 3 of the year. And for Ballard, that's such a deserved goal. He has looked good time and time again off the bench.
And he's looked really good wide. His 1v1 ability, his speed, but he took that one upon himself. He saw the ball coming back. He found his way central and was able to strike it first time.
Well, now Louisville's got their goal. Charlotte is down a man. It would be, I think, a mistake for Louisville to draw into neutral now that they have that 1 goal to their credit.
Well, they've been so strong in the midfield when they were playing on equal terms with 11 men. There's no need for Louisville to drop in. They just have the ability to pass around anyway, so they're going to continue to try to possess, but with a purpose, the way that they like to play, possess going forward. And there's, as you said, there's no need to change their game. They've been successful. They haven't been under too much pressure defensively.
Charlotte has struggled to find the first goal in most games this year. Jimenez slapping the ground, the culprit in his turning slip. Turned over. But Piccolo finding Williams. Williams being tugged from the side and keeping possession. Lewis Hilton stepping the ball away from Ballard. Hilton, part of the staggeringly good tradition at Young Harris, a college that has played host to Niall McCabe and Ilya Illich, and Paco Craig, who's not in the lineup tonight. It's a reunion of sort for Young Harris, which Morgan, I know you know, is one of the great USL producers of talent, at least between these two teams. Nearing the hour mark, Jimenez, Williams, Morad. McCabe trying to play through the rookie Ballard. Bouncing ball that finds Jimenez. Trying to slip it back to Ownby. At the hour mark, 15 minutes into the second half of play, with Charlotte down a man and Louisville up a goal. Mike Watts with Virginia Tech outside back. Morgan Conklin, former ACC player. Williams. Ballard in attack mode. Just out of the reach of Ownby. Two of the great wing players on this Louisville City team. It's kind of funny speaking with James O'Connor this week. He referenced all the great wing talent they had, and no one else got an adjective but Richard Ballard. He goes, well, we've got Brian Ownby, we've got Mark Anthony Kay, and young Richard. Like, usually you'd hear, like, maybe Bearded Brian and Young Richard.
I was going to say, well, he wasn't lying with Richard, but he also wouldn't be lying with Bearded Brian.
Right. Mike Jeffrey is giving us different adjectives. This ball tagged across and just over the bar from Ownby from aforementioned Young Richard. Well, Bearded Brian quite nearly there, huh?
Ownby doing everything he needs to do there. Ballard doing a great job 1v1. Ownby beats his defender central. Just isn't able to put it away. The little bounce coming back off the field, I think might have thrown him off a little bit, but he should be able to finish that one. Has to get on top of it. Ownby's due for a goal as well. His individual work, building forward, the amount of times he's been right around frame and hasn't been able to put it away.
And he scored against Charleston last game, and it was a great finish from 20 yards out. And that was him finally breaking through, and yet again, another game where we feel like Ownby has been so involved and not yet rewarded with the goal. Here's Speedy Williams. Ownby dispossessed by Ekra. Piccolo dispossessed. Louisville with the man advantage, a significant possession and shot advantage. Tosh. Charlotte played just 3 short days ago, and now they find themselves chasing with 10 men. So many changes in the lineup from that time. They gave key players a rest. Piccolo for McCabe. That ball bounced off of Richard Ballard. Johnson really lost the battle for the ball.
That was actually a really smart play by Johnson. I don't know if he meant to just get a little touch, but with Jimenez coming in so strong, to be able to just tap it and get the deflection, to have the ball once again.
Ekra whistled for the foul there. No, rather that ball had gotten out and gone the other way. Ekra's walking away so disappointed. Lewis Hilton, Aka Smith. Up the right-hand wing, and the ball lined across. That's handled initially. Orlando and Rochester also being played on the USL YouTube channel, and 65 minutes in, it's 1-1. Ball lined into the box. Too far for Brian Ownby. Rochester just getting a win over FC Cincinnati. We're rotating a lot of players. That may have brought a couple smiles to the fans in those stands. Another really well-attended evening at Slugger Field. Spoke to James O'Connor yesterday. He was just so pleased for his players to be able to come home, able to play in front of these home fans, walk out of a familiar tunnel. Called his group best supporters in the league. Something you hear from a lot of coaches, but it's not often that you see a team's supporters back it up so much. Jimenez, the ball caroms out to McCabe, played it through the legs of Ekra, and now Ballard spins on Smith, keeps the ball and plays it out. Smith over the top, the header by Ownby. Takes a deflection off of Johnson. Mizell was looking to play a goal kick quickly, but instead a corner to Louisville City.
Mike, I talked earlier this game about how it's so impressive that Louisville pushes forward with numbers and how they continue to create and try to make opportunities happen when they get so close to goal. They get their numbers forward. It's harder now with Charlotte dropping in behind the ball, but they're not afraid to create right around goal, and they have the players to do so.
Well, Jimenez lines up for another corner, and that ball whipped across by Ownby, and Del Piccolo nearly tagged it into the net. Williams navigating upfield. Jimenez. Now Ballard. Williams. Now Del Piccolo. Settling things down. Smith. Del Piccolo. Williams. Touches it out to Jimenez. Works by Johnson. Williams finding a pocket of space. The turn from Lancaster right to Mizell.
Once again, Louisville continue to push numbers forward, trying to create. They're very adamant about what shots, what chances they're going to take. If they don't see something they want, they'll bring it back out. They'll build again. They're very purposeful. They try to do so in possession, but also just with their chances.
And Jetsing keeps the ball away from the charging David Spees. Three players have assembled at the scorer's table opposite our position. Johnson. No whistle as Niall McCabe went in and got the ball. Ownby and Jimenez on the same wavelength. And now we are off to the benches for the first time. Subs coming from both Charlotte and Louisville City. For Charlotte, on comes Alex Martinez, a substitution that's brought to you by Great Clips. Callum Ross will check out. Alex Martinez had started all previous 8 games. Jaime Siage comes on for Casey Townsend. Wonder who that sub's brought to you by. That's right, Great Clips. It's going to be great. And for Louisville City, they'll make one move of their own. Brian Ownby has been great. And on comes Ilya Illich. Brian Ownby, a beard that doesn't need to go to Great Clips because it's already great. 69th minute. Good night, Brian. He had a really solid game yet again. Hello, Illich, who came out of that vaunted program at Young Harris. Charlotte playing down to 10 men. And to their credit, making really attack-minded substitutions. There is no glory in a 1-0 loss, whether you play to 10 men or not. And so with 10, they, instead of bringing in an extra defender, very attack-minded group.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
Ilyich. Ballard. Jimenez. This partnership between Williams and Del Piccolo, I think, has really come together quite nicely tonight.
They just balance each other so well. They play off what the other one's doing. If one goes forward, the other holds. There are always options for each other for the most part. They move really well off the ball. So what they do looks so simple, but it's because they set themselves up to be in a position to make easy passes.
McCabe, Illich just got over his foot. You know, they've got Gaia Bend as well. They have a wealth in this central holding midfield position that allows them both an attacker and a defender at any given time. As all three of those are very much capable of playing forward or back. James O'Connor is mimicking the emotion of most people in the stands tonight. quick talk for Devin Speedy Williams. The USL, one of the most prominent second division professional leagues on the planet, featuring some of the game's top talent and its rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information visiting USLsoccer.com, or check out all the latest highlights, scores, news, and info at USL on Twitter. Checking back was Spees, turning in the corner towards Smith. That ball got out over the far side touchline. Ekra. Ricocheted back to Ranjit Singh. This is a Charlotte team. 14 goals in 8 games. Typically a really good offensive group.
Well, they just made some good changes, bringing in Alex Martinez, very dynamic in that midfield. Jaime Siaj to step up in that forward position. Casey Townsend didn't do enough tonight, didn't show, wasn't a target for them. It was difficult to build through the midfield, but he didn't help out his team enough in that attacking area.
Jimenez is looking for Lancaster. Ekra staying on his feet past Williams. Advantage played. Pass broke it down. Got Morad and Tosh, central defensive pairing that's been together most of the year, standing up to that transition play. And now the whistle as Williams goes barrel rolling to the grass. Alex Martinez. A bit of a talking to.
The Charlotte team so far in the second half, obviously it's a little different. They're playing a man down. They've only had 26% of the possession. So that means when they get chances, they have to make the most of it, because as this Louisville team has been playing, they obviously are a team that does a great job at passing. They can keep possession. They can spread the field and being a man up. That being said, when Charlotte has chances, they have to make the most of them. They have to get numbers forward, because they may not have a lot of chances.
Kyle Smith just picked up his 3rd yellow card of the year. A rather inauspicious way. Really didn't notice what the right back, once a trialist, then an Ironman, did earn that one. How tiring is it to play down a man for 40 minutes? How often have you done it for one?
I mean, red cards happen, so here and there, but it's definitely difficult. This field obviously is more narrow, so it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of transition. It's difficult. It definitely starts to wear you down, but it's really obviously a test to what this team can do.
Ballard! Well, you talked about short field, narrow field, quick transition. Ballard trying to take it coast to coast.
Sees the space that he has, tries to get a look on frame, not exactly on target. He goes forward with so much speed, so if he can just calm himself down, see where he is in terms of being inside the box, maybe make a bit better decision, but he had the space. He was going forward with pace. He just wanted to see what happened.
And Ballard coming off a game in which he forced an own goal by Charleston. Forrest Lasso kicking the ball into his own net in what was the 8th and final goal of a 4-4 draw, and then comes out and gets his own first pro goal tonight. Illich looking for Speedy Williams. Widens play out. It's McCabe. Dropping back. The shot by Jimenez is off target.
That was a good chance, though. The ball laid back to Jimenez, who's coming forward with pace. Doesn't hit target whatsoever. If he could have gotten that one on target, that would have been another difficult one for Mizell to stop, especially with how quick he got forward.
He sometimes pops out of nowhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, you don't expect an outside back to find his way that high in central that quickly.
That central is the thing that stood out to me on that run.
but he saw where the ball was going. I've said it so many times, Louisville is so difficult because they're able to build.
Offside. Illich. He's running away like a raccoon who's picked out some cat food, some dog food as it might be. There's a social media reference to be had there. Meanwhile, attack on for Charlotte, trying to toe poke the ball away. A sliding scoop out by Ballard. Well, some consider Charlotte to have perhaps the best player in the USL. Last year, an USL MVP finalist, a guy who's played in MLS previously. Enzo Martinez has come on for David Spies. A substitution that's brought to you by Great Clips. Third and final sub for Charlotte, who's down 10 players. Wound in. Jimenez, the first header, took a wicked bounce. Lancaster drives the ball beyond the midfield line.
Nice clearance by Lancaster. Forces Charlotte to drop deep in their own half to be able to try to build out of that. Normally those balls go out for a throw-in, but that was a really good clearance. It allows his team also to step out.
Johnson's pass cut off. Wechter. Johnson. Approaching the calm confidence. Enzo Martinez driving into the penalty area. Johnson plays it back across. And running in and drawing the foul. Siage knocks down Speedy Williams. The fourth official already has a card with Speedy Williams' number scribbled on it. And it looks like his time has come in the 80th minute. Guy Bend will come on for the home side. Speedy Williams charging off. This substitution is brought to you by Great Clips. On the other side, George Davis waiting to come in still. Richard Ballard, first pro goal. Davis on in a substitution that's brought to you by Great Clips. 10 minutes to go to see if either can make an impact. You know, Ballard's been dealing with a hamstring tweak, so perhaps no surprise that in this, his first start in the better part of a month and a half. Called off a little bit early as the sun sets in Louisville, Kentucky. Martinez goes to work. Johnson. Ball lifted over the back. Siage was coming. And Jetson got there first.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM-FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM-FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
Louisville trying to make the show's opening best 11. Put together a performance here. For Louisville, they look forward to a road game at New York. It does not get easier. Martinez wasn't able to get the ball back. Independence playing down with 10 men since the 48th minute. In the 58th, Richard Ballard striking for his first of his pro career. Louisville looking for more. McCabe. McCabe chested backward. Here's Hilton. Long ball that Siage will run down to the corner to get. The Spaniard playing it back. Setting up Martinez. Parried away. Ranjitsingh knocking it into the corner, and McCabe clears the danger. Alex Martinez trying to keep the ball alive for the Independents. Trying to combine with his brother. He gets it back. And again, Louisville stepping in the vital moment. Now across off of Ekra. Martinez stepping forward. Amazing how much life he's brought to the game in a short amount of time. No whistle as he flew to the ground. And now here it comes. The assistant referee on the near touchline appeared to make the argument, and this is right on the edge of the penalty area, which makes this a potential situation where VAR could be used, although it looked like he was outside.
These Charlotte subs coming in, making a difference. Alex Martinez able to float in that area. Enzo Martinez doing what he does, bringing the work to this game, throwing his body around. He puts his body on the line for his team week in and week out. These players just coming in, making a difference. They're only down by one goal. This game is not over with.
If they're able to get something here, all of a sudden, both sides will be off trying to find that game winner, whether you've got 10 men on the field or 11. This seems like a moment for Smith, doesn't it?
He can get it on his left foot.
He has not scored yet on loan from New England. For Lewis Hilton, his second year in Charlotte, he has scored once. It was as a sub on April 8th against OCB. The result of that game, a 1-1 draw. 4 in the wall. Smith scores, no, knocked away at the last second by Ranjitsingh. That's tremendous.
I called it earlier. If he could get it on his left foot, swing this ball around. Donnie Smith, a beautiful shot. Just a nice parry wide by Ranjitsingh. Charlotte going for the quick corner. They still have the momentum. Another chance for them.
Nearly leveled at 1. Ranjitsingh a two-fisted punch. Martinez tagging it wide. High arcing ball. Ekra punched away. Ball played back in. Ranjitsingh's got it.
Ranjitsingh wasn't tested too often this game. A couple back-to-back chances. Good opportunities for Charlotte. He comes up big, strong in the box, goes up, is able to get the second one. But the initial parry on that shot.
Well, that was a bit unnecessary from Jimenez in the end, and Alex Martinez wants the ball quickly. Oscar Jimenez picks up the yellow card. Siage running over Morad.
Siage going for the hard tackle. There's just no need at this point. I think that was a bit maybe A little bit of acting from Murad. It worked out in his favor, though. But as the game goes on, a close game, obviously Charlotte playing with 10 men, tempers start to get high a little bit as the game winds down. If Charlotte can win this ball, maintain possession, and go forward, they still have the time to put one away.
McCabe.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
McCabe back on the ball from Illich. Well, Lewis Hilton touched it last. Corner for Louisville City.
Louisville in no rush to get this corner off. The referee's aware of it, already telling them before they even get it to the corner, hurry up, get the ball back in play. He wasn't fooled by that one.
And there's the whistle. Louisville's the guilty party. I think Enzo Martinez wanted that to continue with advantage because they were off on the run there, weren't they?
Well, and he also wanted to play the quick ball back in. Referee made him back it up.
Name one player who wants to go into a already set defense. It's transition. If you can get back before the other team, you have an advantage.
When he's a player, he wants the ball. He wants the ball at his feet. So if he has an opportunity, obviously he wants to put it back in play, but he wants it and wants to start the attack once again.
Speaking with Mike Jeffries, said he doesn't know how the Martinez brothers ride home in the car together after games. So competitive. Enzo Martinez and Alex Martinez both brought in off the bench, and Enzo, one of the best players in this league. Meanwhile, game also nearing the 90th minute. Orlando and Rochester, a goal apiece on Wednesday night. There are 3 games. Goal scorer here in Louisville, Richard Ballard. 10 minutes after Charlotte went down to man. Martinez couldn't hang on. Multiple players moving too much. Ball caroms off of Illich. Whistle, yellow card. Look at that 4th official waving around 5 minutes. Justin Gilkey. Stopwatches added 5 minutes of added time. Here comes Charlotte. Turned it over in transition. Del Piccolo. Illich. Ilyich. McCabe going to the corner. Siage, the previous yellow card, and one will question, perhaps in 4 minutes' time, whether or not they will rue giving up an opportunity to drive the net to instead drive the corner flag. Davis. They won't rue it if Charlotte isn't able to string a few passes together and get out of their half. McCabe. There's Johnson. All the latest news, results, scores, highlights USLsoccer.com, and on Twitter at USL, including the long-awaited each Monday morning 11 things from Nicholas Murray. Nicholas Murray, truly the GOAT, over at USLsoccer.com. Strong up wide left. Davis pushing on the edge. Smith flew in. And Alex Martinez seeds a goal kick.
That's a bit of a letdown for Charlotte. As they go forward, when they get their numbers, Alex Martinez wide, isolated 1v1. Something has to come out of that, especially with only less than 3 minutes left in this game. It has to be either a cross, a corner, something, because Louisville's in no rush. They don't have to move forward. They can easily just pass the ball around. They can go to the corner. They can waste more time.
Well, that's a yellow for time wasting, it appears. I don't know that I agree with the use of the yellow card tonight. This game has not been overly violent, overly contentious. Opportunity for Charlotte. Enzo Martinez. Johnson is onside. Johnson diving, outran Jetsing. A bend clears it. 3 minutes gone of 5 in stoppage time. Header back. Meisel's got it. Plays it back across the face of Lancaster. Wechter. And Jetsing, a heroic save previously. How did that stay in play? Off the heel of a bend. Right in line with Enzo Martinez. Touches it wide. Here's Johnson. Curling ball that's headed. Ekra throws his hand up looking for a corner. It won't come. Still 80 seconds left at minimum in stoppage time.
Enzo Martinez, coming in off the bench, has been creating since he stepped on this field. He's dropping off, finding the ball in the midfield, and going forward with pace. So good on the ball technically. Finding Johnson wide a couple times. Not bad service coming in, not the best, but he's able to whip it in. They have numbers in the box, just haven't been able to get on the end of it. Rand Jetsing coming up big once again, getting a hand on one of those crosses. Enzo Martinez continuing to just find the ball and create.
Charlotte wants to go. Neither team in this series has scored more than one goal in a game. This the 5th meeting. Enzo Martinez helping to create. Through the pressure on the turn is Alex Martinez. Tags the ball through looking for Enzo. Kept alive by Ekra, touching it wide. Final seconds of the match. Jan Ekra lifting it across. Johnson arrives. He'll have a cross. Bounces. Shot. Wide. Corner coming as it was touched by Castillo. Can they get it off in time? And can Louisville defend? Siage lining up. Surely this will be the last play of the game. It's Smith. Punched away by Ranjetsing. The goalkeeper was forward. Smith. Ranjetsing again. It is Martinez. Blocked. Full time. Louisville holds on to the final second and beyond. A 3-point performance into third in the East. Charlotte, a valiant effort down a man, but Richard Ballard's goal holds.
Louisville just so strong. Richard Ballard coming up big. They had a lot of chances early on, weren't able to put one away. That man right there stepped up huge for his team. Richard Ballard. Charlotte let this one get away. The red card definitely changed how things went. When Enzo Martinez stepped on the field, he really changed this momentum. He was able to create more going forward. Got the last shot off, unfortunately was blocked by his own teammate.
Louisville City picking up a 1-0 win over Charlotte. Richard Ballard, his first pro goal. What a finish it was. We've got highlights and stats wrapping this one up. Louisville into third.
Heat is hot. You should have some adult beverages when you go with the heat.
We come here pretty much every Friday now. We've been here several times and we love it.
Everything is fantastic, sides and all.
Chicken and waffles, it's excellent. It's the best place you can get it.
It's so hot, you actually get a buzz from eating this. You come get takeout that tastes like something you cook at home. That's what keeps me coming back.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Pizza, beer, sports. A great combination. Join other sports fans at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House in Louisville, where you'll find what Food Network says is the best pizza in Kentucky. Incredible game day and social hour specials starting at just $2. With an award-winning menu and one of city's best local craft beer lists. Just one bite, and we know you'll love it so much, you'll come back time and time again at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House, your social sports destination.
The lights are on, the smoke clearing from the supporters section, finally at home, and a win for Louisville City. Charlotte's 3-game unbeaten streak in the league is snapped. They had a chance to move up 6 positions in the league tonight. They fall just short, down a man, as Richard Ballard scores, and a young man with quite the autograph, quite the memory, as the players head down the tunnel. Mike Watts back with Morgan Conklin. And as we think back to the full-time highlights of this affair, it was a game where Louisville got more of the possession all game long. They got more of the shots, and they come away with the 3 points.
But they struggled to really translate their possession, good chances, into anything more throughout the first half. They had a lot of chances. They were able to create. They found numbers forward. Cameron Lancaster was fantastic early on, getting the ball at his feet, moving forward. Also, Paulo Del Piccolo getting out of the midfield, getting forward, finding Lancaster back on a nice little flick, coming back across the face of goal. But early on, Cody Mizell was really busy in this first half.
Maybe that was going to be the save of the game. Maybe it wouldn't. Find out in a moment. The turn setting up Del Piccolo. Could that have been it? He got a fingertip to it.
And it was a bit of a weird deflection how it went. Lancaster trying to get turned. Del Piccolo just staying with the play, getting in on the tackle, and it almost found its way in the back of the net.
0-0 at halftime. And an early yellow card in the 20th minute means that this second yellow card by Shawnee Fairclough sends him off in the 48th in his debut for Charlotte.
Ownby just getting at this back line with his speed. Fairclough doing his best just to step in front. I don't think it was necessary for red, but obviously his second yellow. Tough way for him to go out tonight, especially in his debut.
Really good game tonight for Richard Ballard. In this case, no call was right.
I think so. I don't think Del Piccolo was brought down in that situation. I think he was going for the ball. I think both players just didn't see one another, and that's what caused the collision.
Making the run through Williams, a shot that deflects up. Ownby the foul. Mizell avoiding the danger again. Down to 10 men. An opportunity for Lancaster, dropping it off. Ballard scores in the 58th to improve the game winner.
Ballard coming from his spot wide. You see him with the run, coming central, just sprints towards the ball, sees where it's coming. Just a beautiful strike.
And then this, a strike off the post, knocked through by Ranjit Singh.
Donnie Smith, beautiful contact on the ball, but that's saved by Ranjit Singh. The extension, able to push it wide.
These stats would make you think Louisville City would come out on top, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, but I said it at halftime. Their shots to shots on target ratio had to be better. A tad bit better in the second half, but that's not very good. 18 shots shows how many chances they had. Only 4 on target. They weren't able to convert, make most of their chances dangerous.
9 shots in either half for Louisville City, but it's the one in the 58th minute that proves to be the difference maker. For Louisville City, they look forward to a game against New York Red Bulls 2 next. On the road, Morgan, this looks like a beautiful painting, doesn't it?
Beautiful way to end, especially for the home team, Louisville. Nice turnout for them. A good showing. If they could connect on a couple more, but obviously they get 3 points back at home, they leave happy.
So the grounds crew goes to work, gets Slugger Field for the first time in over a month. A 3-point performance for Louisville City. Richard Ballard, the rookie, hard-pressed to find a goal all year long. He impresses the home crowd in his hometown. 58th minute, up a man, Louisville City moves to third place in the Eastern Conference. For Andrew Firestein and director Scott Ferguson, Jose Ontiveros, and Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts saying so long. Grand Jetsing in Louisville City, a 1-0 winner.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.